Here's to whiskey kisses, the peaty taste of sin. Edinburgh morning with the smell of brewing on the wind. Here's to lighting bonfires as you watch the seasons turn.
It's Friday, the first Friday, April the 2nd of 2021. It is approximately 6:30 p.m. I have 8 empty glasses in front of me. I'm even wearing my lucky frog tie. Ladies and gentlemen, that can only mean one thing. It's whiskey time. Greetings, whiskey folk. Welcome back to Drinking Out Loud. I am your host, as ever, Adam Bradshaw, and it is a pleasure and an honour to have you back here on the official Dram Association YouTube channel in the Strat Studio for another SMWS OutTurn. OutTurn 114 of the Canadian chapter. And before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to the guys over at Legacy in Vancouver, especially Kitty, who helps enormously with today's OutTurn because, well, it literally couldn't have happened without you guys. At the time of recording, we still haven't received our whiskey. It should arrive later today. Not all of it, though. Some of it is missing. Shenanigans in the warehouse again. So thank you to coming to our rescue and allowing me to get a bottle of each so that I could get this video out there and have everything sorted in time for the big Friday release. It's been quite the effort to get this one together, but it's not just a good Friday, it's a great Friday because it's all come together and we have some wonderful whiskies to release for you here today. So first of all, if you got this far and you're going, what on earth is this SMWS? Do yourself a favour, go to smws.ca. They explain it all there, much better than I could right here. However, the little video at the intro should have done a decent enough job. In a nutshell, it's a members-only Scotch whiskey bottling club. They bottle whiskey exclusively for their members. You can become a member quite easily. And I very much suggest you do so, because top-notch whiskey. And we're about to release 7 brand new bottles of that here today. I'm actually only releasing 6 because one of them we didn't get at all. So I'm releasing 6 brand new bottles here today. I'm giving you a sneak preview of a 7th, which should be here in a couple of weeks. I'll let you know when it arrives. But first things first, let's get to the first whiskey. Because as is tradition, we always have a repeat. And since we've been doing things digitally, the repeat is a great excuse for us to be able to... have an opening dram, a bit of a flex, a bit of a warm up before we get into the main show. And today's opening dram is from the December 2020 OutTurn actually, and it's a dram that I believe Brett actually said reminded him of Pat in name, for it is deep and complex, sweet and earthy. The initial nose of desiccated coconut and pipe tobacco gradually opens to lemon meringue pie, apricot flan, and rose bay willow herb in a wasteland, with background hints of wood, licorice, and tar. The deep, complex palate combines with sweet and earthy notes, butterscotch, dark chocolate, caramelized bananas, Eccles cakes, and ginger snaps, with tarry ship's timbers and salty pork scratchings. Water shifts the nose to straw, dried seaweed, celery pepper, Turnux snowballs. Yeah, that's a fun Scottish one for you. It's like a marshmallow in chocolate with desiccated coconut on it. And a few fence timbers. The palate becomes easier and sweeter, coffee and walnut, fudge, toffee, brandy snaps, and dried dates. After 7 years in ex-bourbon wood, we transferred this into a second fill Muscatel hogshead. Yes, this is a really, really interesting one because this is actually an Islay whiskey. Weird to start with an Islay, but if you guys tuned into yesterday's April Fool's special where I talked all about how regions are mostly meaningless, and we tried a peated whiskey from every other region in Scotland. I also mentioned, of course, that not all Islay whiskey is peated, and this is a perfect example of such. So this is 10.192. They managed to get 243 bottles out of the cask. The short form says good toffee, fudge, and coconut sweetness, plus heavier notes of tobacco, seaweed, tar, and fence timbers. It is aged for 9 years. It was distilled on the 27th of September 2010. Again, from Islay. An initial cask was the ex-bourbon hogshead, with a final finish in a second fill ex-Muscatel hogshead. An ABV of 60.8% alcohol by volume, and this is part of the Juicy Oak and Vanilla collection. Yeah. And I was sad to have missed out on this one on the video, because of course we had Pat, special guest, in the December OutTurn, and actually present this one, so I didn't get the chance to, so... Hey, we've got a couple of bottles left. Perfect excuse to revisit it, right? Let's pop her open and see what we're looking at here. Very nice. Again, Weagling cans. We've got a lot of work to do. I can't be over enjoying these right now. But don't worry, I'll have a bigger pour later. Yeah, lovely earthy caramels on the nose. I'm not really getting much of a coastal thing. It mentions, like, tar and some quite coastal ideas, but not finding that right off the bat. I am getting the licorice, they notice, though. It's nice, yeah. It's the lemon meringue pie really jumps out to me as an interesting tasting note. Weirdly, not so much the lemon meringue bit, although maybe I'll search for that a little bit, but more so the base. I just realised lemon meringue pie doesn't always have a base, but when it does, it's usually like a cheesecake base, and that's what I'm getting right now. Yeah, like the crushed digestive biscuits and butter and sugar all mixed together into a beautiful, delicious paste base. Very nice. First drink of the day. Always takes me slightly by surprise. Oh yeah, brandy snaps is a great one. It's got that slightly singed caramel thing going on. Yeah, that's really good. Starting to get a bit more of the coastal influence, the seaweed they mentioned. I'm getting that sort of salty umami thing now on the palate that I didn't get on the nose. Yeah, dates. Yeah, it does have a bit of a dried fruit thing, probably coming in from that Muscatel. I think the second fill Muscatel hogshead is a really interesting thing to do with this as well, because, I mean, a lot of people might be thinking, if you're going to finish something, finish it in a first fill. But no, I mean, it was a fairly decent finishing length of time, right? It was 2 years, and you don't want to completely overthrow the beauty that is the new make spirit of a number 10 distillery, which I'm about to reveal what it is. I almost accidentally did right there. You don't want to completely overthrow the characteristic of the distillery. Yeah, that's really cool. So let's add a couple of drops of water, and I'll tell you about what number 10 is. So a quick refresher for those of you who might not be as SMWS savvy as some of our viewers. The code, I mentioned pretty much everything about this whiskey when we're talking about the bottle, apart from where it's from. And that is what the code comes in. So this is 10.192. And what that means is it's the 192nd bottling or 192nd cask that they have bottled from the 10th distillery that they sort of visited or bought casks from. So this is, it's going to be a classic. It's going to be a distillery that's probably been around for a while and is a big name because it was one of the first 10 that the SMWS ever purchased from. And yeah, it is a big name. It's Bunnahabhain, a fantastic whiskey, which I believe in the Scotch Whisky Awards just took the big prize with their 25-year-old again. The 25-year-old, of course, being the highest rated whiskey in the Dram Association's history, which is pretty good kudos as well, seeing as we're that was a culmination of probably 30 or 40 people scoring it and taking an average. So that's high praise, to be honest. It is. Yeah, Bunnahabhain, fantastic distillery. And though this distillery has very, very large stills, they keep the fill level quite low to increase the copper contact. This gives it a lighter, fresher flavour, and may be the reason for their hallmark ginger taste. And yeah, there is a bit of a gingery thing going on here. It mentions ginger snaps in the write-up there, and yeah, there is that little hint of ginger, and that's something I relatively recently learned. Is that if you're trying to figure out what distillery something is, and you've been given the clue that it's an Islay, if you taste ginger, good chance it might be a Bunnahabhain. I like that. So I'll just give you a little bit of a tidbit and trivia about the distillery, and I'm actually going to be having a bit of a theme of that throughout this tasting. My trivia is going to be specifically about the kind of flavours that the distillery is known for and how they claim to achieve those flavours. Well, a little bit of the secret of how they got there. So in this case, the bigger stills, the more copper contact with the lower fill level. Really interesting. Yeah. This one is, of course, already available at strathliquor.com. To follow along with this and the new releases, head right now to strathliquor.com/SMWS and you will see the new release section update with the new releases as we go. Won't update automatically. If you've got the page open, you will have to click refresh every so often to see the new whiskies. But yeah, if one takes your fancy that you want to pick up right away, they are available as soon as I say they're available. I will be posting them in real time along with this video. So yeah, basically, keep that page open, keep hitting refresh as soon as you hear something that you want, and it should, all being well, appear for you on the website. If you're not seeing it, try doing a search in the search bar in the top right-hand side of the page for that exact SMWS number, and if it doesn't come up, I'm afraid it means it's already sold out. So, some of these probably will sell out pretty quickly. This one might well be one of them because, yes, although it's been available for a while, a lot of people haven't had the chance to really hear about and understand this whiskey, and a lot of people haven't tried it yet, of course. And there's only 2 left right now. So if this unpeated ex-Moscatel finish Bunnahabhain sounds like it could be the perfect whiskey to keep your other bottles company in the cabinet, then pick it up right now. It's available for $186.87 at strathliquor.com/SMWS. Beautiful. So as I just mentioned, a little bit of a theme for the trivia this month, but there's also a little bit of a theme on the whiskey names as well. As you might have seen on the waiting screen for this video, if you're watching live at the premiere, and if you are watching live at the premiere, please say hi in the live chat. I'll be right there chatting along with you. There's a theme of sort of an outdoorsy theme here. They're telling us to elevate our flavour frontier. They've got a nice picture. I'll bring the picture back up again for you right now. We've got a nice picture of a goat with a hip flask, which I'm not sure goats should have hip flasks, but I'm not sure it's a goat. It seems to have hands. Goats don't have hands. Some kind of goat-like creature is drinking from a hip flask. And basically, they're recommending going on a bit of an outdoor adventure, which is a perfect thing to do right now because we're in the middle of a COVID pandemic. And as much as I had a lot of people suggesting that I should start planning to have the tastings back in person again by April, it doesn't look like that's, it's definitely not the case for April. We're already here and, pubs have just closed in BC. We're not allowed any indoor dining anymore. Things are ramping up again. We have no idea when we're going to be back into indoor actual together tastings. We're going to be sticking with digital whilst that is our option. And when things are safe, hopefully we'll be able to get together again. Until then, go for a hike, enjoy the great outdoors. We're in BC, one of the most beautiful places on the planet. Yeah, take a walk, climb some hills, and fill your hip flask with some fantastic SMWS whiskey to keep you company. And actually, shout out to another whiskey club over in the UK that was started by Whiskey Bry. Brian, the brand ambassador here in Canada for Ardbeg and Glenmorangie. He has his own whiskey club. I can't remember the actual name now. It's something like Hip Flask, the Hip Flask Whiskey Club or something, where the whole thing is whiskey and hiking, and they go really, really well together. As much as whiskey is a very enjoyable thing, it's even more enjoyable after you've been walking for a couple of hours and you're sat on top of a mountain with an amazing view. So yeah, take yourself a trip and let's see what the new releases, what they've got in store for us this month. I'm very excited by, well, frankly, all of them, because I'm always excited to try a new SMWS, but I'm very excited by quite a few of these on a personal sort of taste preference level. And we're starting off with probably the most to the point name. This is very, very thematic. This one's called Hill Walking Happiness. Hill Walking Happiness. And the official tasting notes from the SMWS are as such: a clean, fresh nose of cereal and wood, tea chests, polished wood, cardboard, straw, weaving looms, and my outdoor gear cupboard. Then sugared almonds, donuts, and chocolate raisins to balance, our palates tingled with ginger snaps, cinnamon stick, leather and nutmeg, plus chocolate toffee eclairs, vanilla and cinnamon swirls. Adding water, our noses found burlap, dried herbs, licorice root, orange oil, and putty, with ice cream wafers and Tunnocks snowballs, chocolate-covered coconut marshmallows. You're getting a bit of a theme here with the last one, aren't we? Also had Tunnocks snowballs. Also had the ginger snaps. I have to admit, completely by accident. I didn't plan that, so I'm going to do a bit of a side by side, see if we can compare and contrast. That's really cool. The palate now became sweeter: toffee walnut whip, spun sugar, apple crumble topping with wood spices, beeswax, white pepper, and lemon cough drops to finish. Beautiful. So this is cask 68.41. It is one of 295 bottles that came from a first fill ex-bourbon hogshead this time. It was aged for 11 years. It was distilled on the 17th of October 2008. It is from the Highlands, or the Heelands if you wish. It is 54.8% ABV. And the short form notes on here: weaving looms and outdoor gear cupboards on the nose, ginger snaps and white pepper tingle to taste, balanced by toffee eclair sweetness. Lovely. I'll give this one a shot myself. Again, not a shot. When I say give a shot, it's just my Yorkshireism coming out for give it a go. I'm not going to take a shot of this whiskey. That would be frankly disrespectful. In fact, even on the back right here, it says not for swigging, glugging, or knocking back. Please drink responsibly. Solid advice from Rob and Kelly. Lovely. Alrighty, so what am I looking for on the nose here? Sugared almonds, donuts, those kind of flavors. Let's see what I get. Straight up with the cinnamon, actually. Cinnamon was first thing found. Very vanilla. Very, I'm getting coffee, actually, on the nose as well. It's like having a cinnamon bun and coffee in the morning. Very nice. Yeah, but now I'm getting that bit more of the sort of, they could say cardboard, and that's actually a really good note. It's one of those Worcester asterisk terms. I don't generally eat or drink cardboard, but I find it a very interesting note in whiskies that I quite enjoy. Gives it depth and complexity. That's a really nice nose. Oh yeah, big on dark. I'm getting dark chocolate. To the best of my recollection, I don't think I've ever seen a dark chocolate Tunnocks snowballs. It's always milk chocolate, but I'm getting dark chocolate and coconut. To give a much more local thing going on here, I'm specifically getting right now the very fresh memory, because I had some not too long ago, of Denman Island chocolate, their dark chocolate and coconut one. Very, very good. Nice, 54.8%. That's a nice solid ABV for it as well. I'm going to give it a couple of drops because it mentions getting sweeter after a couple of drops of water, and that's something I would actually quite like to see in this whiskey. I'd like to see this one a little sweeter. Yeah, I think I can see that a little. I'm finding lemon curd now. This might be entirely in my head, but as my fiancée Kristen likes to say, so is my entire life experience. So if something's only in your head, that's an okay thing. Ooh. That's very nice. I'm getting pink wafer biscuits. Very good. Strong start to what should potentially be a strong outturn by the look of what's to come. Yeah, I think this is excellent. It's particularly excellent because this is the return of the Giving Spirit program. Now, those of you who tuned in January will have heard about the debut of the Giving Spirit program, and I've got a little bit of a written note here that was written for the book from Robin Kelly explaining what it is and how it relates to this whiskey, and why it's another extra special reason to buy a bottle of Hill Walking Happiness. So an update to the Giving Spirit program. In January, we introduced our Giving Spirit program. Each quarter, SMWS Canada will donate to charity 100% of its profits from the sale of a designated bottle. There's no doubt 2020 took the wind out of everyone's sails, and like many small businesses, we took a hit last year as in-person tastings were sidelined and people tightened their wallets, rightfully so, amid months of uncertainty. Just a quick insert as well. Of course, the SMWS were not alone in taking a hit. A lot of the industry took a hit. You may have heard all of the record sales coming from the liquor industry in terms of liquor stores. Yeah, that's very much your big box liquor stores. It's not the small independent downtown liquor stores like ourselves, or I believe any of the SMWS partners. So please do keep supporting your small local independent stores, as well as your small local independent whiskey clubs, like the SMWS, who, yes, they're based in Scotland, but of course this Canadian chapter is very much Canadian owned and Canadian organised and Canadian run. So please keep supporting local and keep drinking Scotch whiskey. Our members stepped up. Oh, sorry. I missed a paragraph, a quite important one. That said, though, we're still here and believe in paying things forward and giving back. Our members stepped up, and sales of the 8564 baked bananas and burnt bacon from January's outturn resulted in our being able to donate $1,464.75 to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Canada, an organisation close to our hearts. Thank you. I'd just like to add, I bought a bottle of that, not just because of the charity, but it's one of my favourite whiskies so far of 2021. I don't know if any stores have it available still. If they do yourself a favour, pick it up. It's an amazing whiskey, and it also, proceeds go to charity. Same goes with this one. This quarter, they've chosen 6841 Hill Walking Happiness as the Giving Spirit bottle, with 100% of their profits going to the Canadian Cancer Society. We hope you'll continue to support the program by buying a great bottle of whiskey and helping a worthy cause at the same time. A new bottle and a new charity will be selected in July, so keep an eye on our outturns to see which delicious bottle is selected as the Giving Spirit bottle, and know that you're contributing to a great cause when you buy one. Now, that's something to raise a glass to. And it certainly is. Canadian Cancer Society does very important work. And yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot that goes into healthcare-oriented charities. It's not just the research that, of course, is very important, but for a lot of people, it's the support on an individual basis for people who are diagnosed with cancer and need the help to help them through it. Please do join in and support for the Canadian Cancer Society. And I should probably tell you where this beautiful whiskey is from. So 68.41, this is a Blair Athol. The nutty, spicy flavour of Blair Athol is a big hit with major blender houses, especially, of course, Bell's, who purchased the distillery in 1933. This is reportedly due to their short fermentation time and cloudy wood. That's how they claim to get the big, nutty, spicy flavours into Blair Athol. A fantastic distillery that's, the Macaroni Caledonia, although might not be called that for much longer, we'll see how the lawsuit goes, did a Twack Casks one with Blair Athol. I think it was Macduff, maybe. Or I can't remember. But yeah, Blair Athol, I've seen it in many, many amazing blends from Compass Box as well. Yeah, great whiskey. Don't let the blending houses take it all. I'm glad the SMWS has scooped up a certain portion for us, because not only is it fantastic whiskey, not only is it, supporting a charity, but it's also a very good price. This 11-year-old Highland whiskey can be yours for $161.65. And that is available right now at strathliquor.com/SMWS. And there's a silver lining to all of the hiccups with everything and me having to buy all the bottles from Legacy. Thank you again, Legacy. Because it means we actually have an extra bottle to sell. So normally I'd be saying we have 11 bottles of something when we got 2 cases of it. We have all 12. So we have 12 bottles of this available right now at strathliquor.com/SMWS. Pick yourself up a bottle if it sounds like your kind of whiskey. And I'm sure for many of you it will. Speaking of charity, actually, small segue, I'm going to take a sip from my water glass. I'm taking the wee Glencans for my whiskey, so it means I've got a big Glencan for my water glass today. You might notice it is a Victoria Whisky Festival 2021 Glencairn glass, and if you would like to get a hold of one of these glasses, you can do so on the website as well. We're now able to ship these glasses as well, so if in previous outturns you didn't pick one up because it wouldn't allow you to get shipping to the mainland or up island, we've now changed the website so you can pick this up. You can also pick up the New Dram Association t-shirts as well that are now eligible for shipping. All of the profits from these glasses, of course, go to a local charity. Right now, I haven't chosen April's charity. It's too early in the month. I haven't got round to it yet. So any glasses that are sold today will get rolled in with March's charity, which is the Vancouver Island Children's Health Foundation, I believe. I didn't write it down. I can't remember the name because I'm terrible at names. But yes, some kind of local children's health foundation charity. It will be getting the proceeds from these Glencans right now. And the next charity, like I said, undecided. So if you have a favourite local charity that you would like us to support with our next month of Victoria Whisky Festival adjacent charity tastings, please let me know in the live chat or the comments section, or shoot me an email at whiskey@strathliquor.com. I'd love to hear your suggestions. I've had a couple of suggestions already, but we've got a few months more to go of our charity program as well. So let us know. Alrighty, sticking with a bit of an outdoorsy thing. We're sticking with the Heelands. We've had one Highland whiskey. We're going for another. At least I assume it's a Highland by the name of it. This one's called the Heeland Coup d'etat. We found this one superbly fresh and full of fabrics, smashed seashells, wet rocks, surf-drenched beach pebbles, chalk, bitter lemon and limoncello, with soda water. Lots of white coastal flowers, sandalwood and scented waxiness, classical and effortlessly brilliant. Reduction elevated the coastal freshness, lots of dried lavender, lemon peel, pink grapefruit, citrus oils, watermelon liqueur, and some tart gooseberry acidity. The mouth opened with overflowing fruity abundance, pineapple, bubblegum, blue raspberry popsicles, cream soda, and illegally sweet iron brew candy bars from the 1990s. Oh my god, I remember those! They should have been illegal. It was more sweet than sugar. They somehow managed to condense sugar. They were nuts. And the paper always stuck to them when you tried to... with water, there was fennel, lime curd, and generally more savoury umami and punchy herbal quality. Putty, waxes, limestone, and green pepper warming the aftertaste. Makes you excited for the future of whiskey. A revolutionary spirit. I'm always excited for the future of whiskey. Whiskey is doing amazing things and always changing up and doing exciting stuff. But this does sound very cool and very exciting. It's also from one of my favourite distilleries, but we'll get to that shortly. Heeland Coup d'etat from the Oily and Coastal collection. Yeah, we're going Oily and Coastal only on Whiskey 3 so far today. That's rapid progression. So the short form on this one, dazzling, that's a sobriety test right there. Dazzlingly fruited. Did I say that correctly in the long form? Was it even there? I'm not sure. Either way, dazzlingly fruity, fresh, and opulent. I don't know why I'm finding that so hard to say. Vividly evocative, waxy, Eastern Highland-style coastal malt whiskey. Saline, umami, waxy, and luscious. A couple of distilleries that this might be. I've recently discovered another distillery that has a similar quality to this, and the SMWS has even noted that by calling it Ain't No Pussycat. This one, however, is a pussycat. This is 26.149. There's 252 of these came out of the second fill ex-bourbon barrel. It was aged for 8 years, distilled on the 19th of September 2011, again from the Highlands, and it is 58.1% ABV. Okay, so before I get too far into this, and before I upset myself, there's going to be a bit of a waiting period on this one if you're here in Victoria, because this is the whiskey that, if it wasn't for Legacy, we wouldn't have this bottle right now to be able to promote it. So it's not arrived. It's not going to arrive for a couple of weeks. If you are interested in this one, please keep an eye out on your email. I will be emailing all members the moment it hits the online store. So if this is one for you, pick it up. And actually, to be brutally honest, if this is the one for you and you want it right now, just, talk to Legacy, see if they can sort something out for you. I'm very grateful for Legacy helping us out, and for a long time we've been partners with Legacy with the SMWS, and more than happy to send some customers over to Legacy. So if you want this right now, go to Legacy. If you can wait a couple of weeks, pick it up from the Strath. We'll have it soon. Ooh, great pop. Love this distillery. I love the idea of fabric. Just general fabric as a tasting note as well. Smashed seashells is a favorite note of mine. Oh, I get the fabric. It's like being in a cotton mill. It is like being in Arkwright's cotton mill. That's cool. I wish this is one of the distilleries that used to be a cotton mill. Like Deanston used to be a cotton mill. I always loved that. It was actually designed by Richard Arkwright, the same guy that's kind of invented them, I think, the water wheel cotton mills. This isn't a Deanston, though, before you get carried away. I've never seen an SMWS Deanston. I don't even know if they have a code. Cream soda. Oh, yeah. That is a really cool note. I'm definitely getting the seashells. It's selling them on the seashore. Yeah, freshly spun cotton fabric. I'm hoping for a bit of bubblegum. I always find bubblegum an interesting thing, because what does bubblegum taste like? It tastes like bubblegum. It's a self-referential thing. It's like Iron Brew. Iron Brew just tastes like Iron Brew. It doesn't taste like anything else. It's hard to describe. Ooh. I don't think it mentions this at all. I'm not sure it does. I'm getting a really rich waxy leather thing going on. Oh, that's nice. It's like an old leather armchair. It's like you're polishing an old leather armchair that for some reason is in a limestone cavern. I know it says this is a classic Healand, but all of the notes for me are taking me right back home to Derbyshire. Oh, freshly spun cotton, limestone caverns, rope, oily rope. Oh, this is the Peak District dram. That's what I'd call it. It's even got a little bit of a mintiness, like a Kendal mint cake, which ties in perfectly with today's theme, this month's theme, because Kendal mint cake is a hiking thing. It's tablet in Scotland. It's compressed sugar that you take with you on your hike to keep your calories up, to give you some energy. Oh, watermelon liqueur is something I don't think I've ever had. Sounds interesting. I do enjoy watermelon. Tart gooseberry acidity. All right, that's all stuff they get with reductions. So let me add a couple of drops of water, see if I can find those notes, and tell you why I'm so excited about a 26. 26 is a Clynelish. The creme de la creme of blending ingredients. Clynelish takes the exact opposite approach to Blair Athol, in that they have long fermentation with a clear wort. However, it's the waxy quality that really hooks folks into this distillery, and distillers, blenders as well, and that comes simply from a buildup of oil in the faints receiver, which apparently they've realised that anytime they clean it, they and take away that sort of waxy, oily build-up, the spirit suffers for it. So they've now got to the point where a lot of people say that they just don't clean it. That's not true. They do clean it. They just carefully take the waxy, oily build-up out and put it straight back in again after it's been cleaned. I'm not sure that counts as cleaning, but, I'm sure they clean the rest of it, and that's probably very important. But yeah, waxy, oily build-up makes a waxy, oily whiskey. Makes sense to me, and I'm very glad that they do that, because this is, frankly, a delicious dram. And this is a very Clynelish. And for those of you who are fans of this distillery in BC, very, very hard to get Clynelish these days, because the official bottling has not been seen on the shelves of liquor stores in BC, or at least not any liquor store that I've seen, for 4 years, I want to say. The last time we were able to order it was 4 years ago, so maybe there are some liquor stores that still have it, but they're going to be hard to find, and this is right here and available right now at Legacy, and in a couple of weeks at the Strath. And when you do pick this up, you will be able to for $179.91. So again, not available right now at the Strath. It will be available later this month. Keep an eye on your emails, but if you're desperate to pick up a bottle, head over to Legacy. I'm sure Darryl will sort you out. Oh, lovely. I did get a little more zesty, vibrant, actually, after adding water. Follows through to the nose. I want to say it's got like a green bell pepper thing as well now. Oh. To get that much beautiful complexity and flavour out of an 8-year-old whiskey, marvellous. And kudos for the SMWS for finding these incredible whiskies that do just that. They're little time capsules, condensing the time. All right. So, something I said during the OutTurn last month, back in March's OutTurn, which raised a few eyebrows, got a few questions asked my way, and that was this idea of my desert island distillery, right? And I chose Loch Lomond because there's so much variety that you can get out of Loch Lomond these days, and I absolutely love pretty much everything I've had from them. And that's a little bit cheating because, it's Loch Lomond is 11 whiskies in one. And of course, that's a brilliant, logical answer. So the answer was, the question was brought up as if I could only have one whiskey, what would my desert island dram be? And I thought about it. And I couldn't really come up with a singular answer. But, in truth, a lot of my absolute favourite drams that I've had in recent years, in recent memory, a lot of them have had something in common. A lot of them have been SMWS, no surprise there. Big fan of what the SMWS does and the style of whiskey that they put out. A lot of them have black labels. Funny that, isn't it? And it's kind of funny, because it just so happens that after all of that, I look at the upcoming whiskies and I place my order and I go, there's a black label SMWS whiskey that is legitimately called a Desert Island Dram. But not quite. It's a Desert Island Dram, but with an E in brackets in the middle of Dram to make it Desert Island Dream or Dram, depending whether you want to pay attention to the brackets or not. Brackets can often be very important. All right, so this is a Desert Island Dream/Dram. Spectacular opulence, irresistible, luscious luxury, and a simple wow were just a few of the useful descriptors from the panel members. I like that they're tongue-in-cheek saying, yeah, useful, guys. What does it taste like? It tastes like wow. Great. Thanks. A classic French loaf pain d'épices. As you will find out more and more today, don't really know French, don't really know how to pronounce a lot of French. Full of warm, comforting aromas thanks to the generous amounts of honey and mixed spices, ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon, mace, and cloves in the bread's batter. Oh, it's like a spicy bread, like spice bread. The taste neat had a fiery temper with plenty of exotic wood spiciness, but at the same time that deep, rich sweetness of a steaming cup of chamomile, honey, and vanilla herbal tea. Add a drop of water, and it turned into a very juicy, very fruity, a desert island dram/dream. Final comment? God damn it, is it good. Again, very useful comment from the panel. Yeah, black label time. This is a black label from a distillery which we know and love all too well here at the SMWS. You've heard me say this before. It's a distillery the SMWS used to get an awful lot of because we were owned by the same company. No longer the case, but thankfully we've still got some stocks of it. Oh, it's a 35. This is 35.275. Look at that. An outturn of 180. After many useful descriptors, it turned out to be a classic French spiced loaf with a steaming cup of chamomile, honey, and vanilla tea. This was aged for 25 years and was distilled on the 24th of November 1994 in Speyside. Its cask, and this is the important part, and I'll explain a little bit more shortly, is a first fill toasted hogshead. 59.6% ABV. This is going to be something special. And this is the one I feel slightly guilty about just buying a bunch from Legacy, because that means they've got one less to sell to other people and we've got one more to sell, which feels slightly awkward because we only got 6 each of these. So we still actually have 6 of these to sell. Lucky us. Sorry, Legacy. We'll make it up to you one day. All right. Ooh, that is a nice, rich, dark whiskey. Look at that colour. Oh. Not that colour necessarily equates to things, but knowing that this is just a straight-up first-fill toasted hogshead, and, you know, this colour is coming directly from what we would assume is probably American oak, but can't be certain. There's no fancy, there's no, you know, PX or anything soaked into the wood that would influence it. It's most likely ex-bourbon. Smells ex-bourbon. Smells glorious. Oh. Oh, that's good. That is good. All right. Well, I'm going in for a sip. How do they do that? This distillery is frankly magic. I don't know how they pull off some of the stuff they do. That is such a beautiful, rich, oak-infused, flavorful, old-style whiskey, as in aged whiskey. Oh. But it's got so much beautiful, fruity character to it, too, from the new make spirit. Well, it's not new make anymore, from the old make spirit, I guess. From the actual spirit itself, you can still get that characteristic. Oh. Oh, this is just harmony of spirit and oak. Rich honey, it's got that floral chamomile. Chamomile is a perfect note from the SMWS panel there. Yeah, I mean, I know the writer has given the panel a hard time for not giving them much to work with, but frankly, I can't really blame them. This wow is probably the biggest flavor note that I'm getting to. Oh my. That is something just beautiful. So, let me add a couple of drops of water, see how that does for this whiskey, and also tell you a little bit about it. So this is a Glenmorangie. So when Glenmorangie was reopened by the new owners Glenmorangie in 1923, they reportedly redesigned their spirit specifically to complement the flavours of an extended aging period in American oak. They are actually situated in a bizarrely warmer microclimate that boosts maturation within the Speyside region as well. This is such a glorious whiskey. I don't have an awful lot left, do I? Put that down for a second while I tell you why this is such a special cask type as well for this style of whiskey. So as we just heard, Glenmorangie, specifically designed for an extended aging period, especially in American oak, which fairly certain this is. And that's a hard thing to do, you know? Some people just think that making whiskey and maturing whiskey is easy. You just throw it in a cask and leave it for a couple of decades and jobs are good. It's not like that. It really, really is so far from that, you'd be surprised. A lot of really hard decisions have to be made in terms of the type of wood, the type of spirit, how they interact together, the location of the warehouse. It's a giant, complicated equation. You know, it's like looking at the chalkboard in a professor's lab. It just boggles your eyes. It's not as simple as just throwing it in a cask for a couple of decades and seeing what happens. And even the absolute experts who know exactly what they're doing will make, a little bit of mistake, because you're talking organic products here. Whiskey is not digital. It's analog. There's always going to be things that you can't control. The grain of the wood might appear to be a certain density, but it's actually slightly looser than you think, which is going to age it slightly differently. It's made it slightly longer. But also luck. There's a huge amount of luck that goes into aging anything for that long. Anything could happen. The warehouse could catch fire. The barrel could leak. Someone could be stealing from it. Anything can happen with 25 years of maturation, right? It's a long time to keep a whiskey safe. And yeah, that is naturally going to push the price up. That's one of the things that I've heard a lot of people be like, why is old whiskey so expensive? All they do is leave it alone for a while. It's like, well, yeah, but that means that they're putting in all the money for the equipment and the fuel and the raw ingredients and everything, and not getting any return on it for a long time. So it kind of makes sense that you need to put the price up. And B, it's really, really not that simple. Like I said, for every cask of incredible whiskey like this that is going to catch a premium, there's going to be so much whiskey that is like, we aged it for 25 years, but it's not very good. We'll blend it into something to get rid of the flaws, and we'll still be able to sell it somehow. But yeah, it's a tricky, tricky game. And that game gets so much more trickier when you're talking first fill. Because the balance of trying to capture just the right amount of oak influence. You want spirit and oak in harmony with each other, which this whiskey has incredibly. It's achieved it so well. It's really, really, really hard with first fill because first fill's got so much more to give from the oak, right? It's so easy to accidentally over-oak a whiskey in a first fill cask. So for every cask that turns out to be this damn good, I dread to think how many just don't cut the mustard. So kudos to the SMWS for selecting this cask. Kudos to Glenmorangie for distilling and aging it. It is just a thing of absolute beauty. And I'm going to let you in on a bit of a secret there. I made a cut. It was seamless. You might not have even noticed as I cut back in to tell you a bit about Glenmorangie, Distillery 35. I actually had to stop and take a phone call, and I couldn't stop myself from taking a couple more sips, and I added some more water, and then I realised how stupid that was. I should have done that on camera. This thing takes water like nobody's business. I added a couple of drops, as you saw on camera, and then I was like, it's changed a little bit. It's quite good. Made it a little bit fruitier. I was like, then I noticed the ABV. This thing is 59.6% ABV. That is, like, incredible for a 25-year-old whiskey. It is. The Angels obviously were just not paying attention around this cask. They did not take a very, very big share of the alcohol, at least. Maybe part of the microclimate meant that the alcohol didn't go down, but the water did. What was the outturn? 180. There you go. The alcohol stayed up. The water came out as well. So maybe the Angels were feeling a little dehydrated in that area at the time. The Angels took their share, but the alcohol remained, which is incredible. So this takes water like nobody's business. Like I said, I added like a good third of a pipette, and it was like, that's amazing. Let's see how it goes. I added another third of a pipette. I don't have much left now. And I'm going to add even more water because this is incredible right now. And I want to know how long you can stretch this, right? So if I was to estimate, I would suggest that this is probably now brought down to just under 40, maybe 38 ABV. It is glorious, nutty, fruity. It's like I said, it's like a malt cake. It's like a spiced malt loaf. All right. Well, let's put her on sale, shall we? This incredible Black Label 25-year-old Glenmorangie can be yours right now at strathliquor.com/SMWS for $3.89.48. $3.89.48. Always nice to see a Black Label SMWS. Always a treat, and this may well come to be my desert island dram. The whiskey I would choose if I could be stuck on an island with only one whiskey. I can see that happening. It's a bloody good whiskey. All right. So, we're moving on to the second half right now. This is where we often get stronger, richer, bolder flavors, maybe peat, maybe sherry. Let's see where we start off. We're starting with something from the deep, rich, and dried fruit flavor profile, and that is called Monkberry Moon Delight. This one noses beyond its years with an initial wealth of figs, shoe polish, old-school cream sherry, new leather shoes, plum wine, 5-spice, wine cellar must, cognac spilled on old furniture and coconut cream. Water brings out more tertiary complexities such as strawberry wine, paper ash, dried earth, sawdust, old toolbox, metal polish, blueberry cheesecake, black forest gatto, and a creamy pint of stout. The mouth opens on bourbon biscuits, grape must, licorice, milk chocolate, black tea, wasabi dusted biltong. These are getting weirder by the minute. Wasabi dusted biltong. Pencil shavings in apple juice and blood orange. With water, there's pineapple upside down cake, caramelized demerara sugar, poached peaches, apricots, and a hint of fruity red chili and hot paprika. Hey! Well, doesn't that sound great? Monkberry Moon Delight. Let's take a look. And this is an older label. You don't see these very often anymore. This has the old SMWS logo with the old style label that was retired last year, I think. Maybe the year before. I don't know. Time is irrelevant these days. All you need to know is it's always whiskey time. Monkberry Moon Delight, a hefty dram piled high with dark fruits, earthy tones, hot spices, big tannins, and big notes of orange tea, pepper, and stodgy cake. Oh, that's a good... I always thought that was a Yorkshireism. Maybe it's just a general English thing. Stodge. Big, stodgy cake. I don't know how to describe the word stodge. English food. Distilled on the 11th of June 2010, this was aged for 8 years in a recharred hogshead. It is from the Highlands. It is 58.1% ABV. And is one of 283 bottles that they managed to get from this hogshead. So being a recharred hogshead, hard to say. It might well be ex-sherry. And from a lot of the notes, I'm guessing it sounds very ex-sherry-esque in its flavour profile. Can't say for sure. All we know is it's a recharred. Also, not sure what a monkberry is. After such a belter of a whiskey with number 4, my senses are a little overloaded, so I'm going to do the old reset. Sniff my inner elbow. Still not quite sure why that works, but it does. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's nice. That's rich. That's dark fruits. Yeah. Oh, pineapple cake. My God, is that pineapple cake? I think they said they found it after adding water. Maybe it's even more pineapple cakey, but that is pineapple cake. Not fresh pineapple. Not even just tinned pineapple, but tinned pineapple surrounded by cake. Wow. I'm not sure I've ever so wholeheartedly agreed with a bizarre, tasting note like that from the SWS. I mean, yes, it's like sometimes, oh yeah, I get the fishing tackle box, which I do, but that is just so on the money. Huh. I'm going to find it hard to get over that now. I'm drinking a pineapple cake. I'm smelling a pineapple cake. This is pineapple cake juice. Because Good God. I'm not sure I can get over that. Oh, all right. Let's talk about this whiskey. So you might, if you're paying attention, you might notice that this is a number that is somewhat familiar, because this is also a 68, and we just had 6841 was the second whiskey today, the first new one. Interesting. Same distillery. What else is the same? Well, they're both from Hogshead. One of them specifically an ex-bourbon, one of them a Richard. They're 3 years apart in terms of age, and they're within 4 points of ABV between them as well. So there should be theoretically a lot similar going on here, but no, I mean there's some similarities. Of course, they're both whiskey, they're both single malt. Holy crap, are they different? This one is a pineapple cake. This one is not a pineapple cake. Oh. Yeah. This one's a cinnamon bun and a fresh cup of coffee. This one's a pineapple cake. Not particularly similar things, which is very interesting. Same distillery, same recipe, same ingredients, same company bottling it, and that is a little bit on purpose. It says one of the things of going on this outdoor adventure is that you could look at the same thing at 2 different times of day, 2 different experiences of the same thing, and experience it very, very differently. And that's not. I mean, that's true in whiskey, of course. 2 casks that theoretically are going to be quite similar can be very, very different, and that's the whole point of things like the Scotch Malt Whisky Society, which showcase the individuality of single cask whiskies. That's even true with a single bottle of whiskey. You have this right now. It tastes very different to if you have it in 5 minutes' time after enjoying a Mars bar, or if you have a different whiskey right before it. Flavor is such a complicated thing, and especially with something as complex as a whiskey, it's a big journey. But yeah, a brilliant illustration of just how different 2 casks from the same distillery can be. Yeah, really, really cool. Really cool. So yeah, this is another Blair Athol. And this Blair Athol, which is fantastic, is... I'm pausing because I feel like I might have got the price wrong. If this is correct, which honestly it should be, I do double check these things, but it just seems absurdly low for this whiskey. It is $146.87. So hopefully I got the price right, and you will see it right now at strathliquor.com/SMWS for $146.87 on sale right this second. Oh. That's a cool little adventure. I like that. Thanks, guys. Not just with the charity aspects and everything, but, with the club in general. Rob and Kelly, who organised the SMWS Canada, they really go the extra mile. Which is exactly what the next whiskey's called. Going the extra mile, in brackets. Because, of course, being from Scotland, as this next whiskey is, I'll, give you that clue. It's Scotch. You know that Scottish people always walk at least a minimum of 500 miles, and if you're lucky, they'll also walk 500 more. We imagined finishing the Camino de Santiago trail that leads from the shrine of the Apostle St. James in the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela in northwest Spain. As we sat on a pew, tired but happy, the giant incense burner started to swing. On the pallet, we were going the extra miles to the coast, to Finisterre, the end of the known world in the Middle Ages. After a drop of water, we had very old sweet wine, extremely concentrated, sweet, sour, and smoky, but all perfectly balanced. We had this with... this is a fun word. Idiazabal? Some kind of, I assume, Spanish cheese, lightly smoked with a smooth and nutty flavour as we watched the sunset over the Atlantic. After 13 years in ex-bourbon hogshead, we transferred this whiskey into a first fill Pedro Jimenez hogshead. And it was in that first fill Pedro Jimenez hogshead for at minimum another 2 years, because this is a 15-year-old whiskey going the extra mile. It's from the Highlands, but there might be more to that. It was distilled on the 17th of January 2005, making this one 15 years aged. Again, the initial cask and ex-bourbon hogshead, finished in a first fill XPX hogshead for over 2 years. An ABV of 56.6% alcohol. The short form here in the Cathedral of Santiago with the giant incense burner swinging before heading to what was for centuries known as the end of the world. Going the extra miles, ladies and gentlemen, with an outturn of 256 bottles is cask number 4.257. It's a Highland, but it's also an island. This is, this is always a treat to have something from this distillery in a single cask strength form, especially when it's got some sherry influence. For those of you who tuned in yesterday to my special April Fool's peated non-Islay whiskey special, you will have had something from this distillery, or you will have seen me have something from this distillery. It was very special, and this is also going to be very, very special. Delightful. Yep, that's got some nice colour to it. Let's see. Oh, it does smell weirdly incensey. Interesting. It's that, yeah, I mean, it's the soft but calming smoke, right? Tired but happy is, that is a good feeling to pair with this whiskey. This is definitely the whiskey on your hiking trip to have near the end, after you've gone that extra mile. You're not quite home yet. You need to go maybe another mile. But this is going to pair perfectly with that feeling of accomplishment with tiredness. Oh, light peat and sherry is just, I'm getting Serrano ham now on the palate. Oh, yes. This whiskey, yes, this is whiskey. Yes, this is good whiskey. Yep. I don't mean to overstate this, but this is good whiskey. Yeah. Man. All right. I'm just going to skip forward a little bit because I want to add some water, and that I've trained myself now that when I add water, I tell you about the distillery. So, distillery number 4 is Highland Park. The local peat of Highland Park is made up entirely of moss and heather, a note which many pick up in the distillate itself. But perhaps it's their near-exclusive use of sherry casks that they're more known for, especially in their official bottling single malts. They do, of course, put a lot of spirit in non-sherry casks, but they don't release it as their own single malt, usually, outside from special editions like the full volume, which was 100% bourbon cask, I think. A lot of Highland Park goes into blends. You know, it's in Famous Grouse, it's in Naked Grouse. And if you're an independent bottler, that's, for the most part, all that they will sell you these days. So occasionally you will see 100% sherry matured Highland Parks for sale, but why would they sell it to you when they can sell it themselves, right? Highland Park don't have any trouble selling their whiskey, believe me. Yeah. So what do you do if you're in the SMWS and you want some sherried Highland Park and you're only getting bourbon casks? Well, you use the incredible knowledge of whiskey that you have and the expertise of the people on your team to carefully and precisely finish it in some sherry cask, to imbue it with that classic sherry cask notes. PX? Hell of a choice. I think the vast majority of normal Highland Parks that you'll find are Oloroso. This just works. It does, though. It has that nice heathery herbal smoke note to it. I love Highland Park. And I know a lot of you guys at home love Highland Park too. Just so you know, I got called out on this recently, so I just want to define guys for you. When I say guys, I'm not specifically saying it's not gendered. So where I'm from, guys is an agendered term for when it's in its plural form. So I apologize if anyone has ever felt like I am not including you in the conversation when I say guys. I will try and say folks as much as possible, but if guys slips out of my mouth, I don't just mean people who are male. I mean everyone. So I know a lot of folks. Actually, I'm being told off for saying folks now as well, because apparently it's a word only used for old people. I don't care, I'm a folk. I like folk music. It's not an old person thing, it's an everyone. It's an inclusive term. That's what I think with the word folk, and that's how I'm defining it for usage on these videos. Folk is everyone. Guys is everyone. Anyway, 4.257, going the extra mile, is available right now for all of you Highland Park loving folk out there at strathliquor.com/SMWS for $244.26. Beautiful. $244.26. So we've taken a little bit of a detour into some light peat. We're going into something that is classified by the SMWS as lightly peated in their flavor profiles next. And this is one that I didn't really understand when I first saw the name, and thankfully Kelly supplied me with a with the translation. I am going to butcher this because it's in French, but it's actually really cool. The name of this excited me greatly once I found out what it meant. Je suis bûcheron et je vais bien. Anyone getting it? Sorry if I butchered the pronunciation too much. How about if I sing it? Oh dear. Je suis bûcheron et je vais bien. I sleep all night and I work all day. Yes. A song I absolutely adore from Monty Python. I am a lumberjack. And I am okay. And, alright. Either one. I am wearing high heels, though, on this video. I'm not going to get up and show you, because I'm not flexible enough to put them on camera right now, but just take my word for it. I am wearing high heels. Je suis bûcheron et je vais bien. Glorious. Let's get into this one. The panel noted a boisterous and playful aroma full of poster paints in an artist's studio. Old, oxidatively aged wines, smoked blackcurrant, sautéed frog legs in butter. I swear I didn't plan this tie based on that. Miso broth, mushroom powder, black peppered biltong. With reduction, we encountered a lumberjack's woodshed full of cold axe heads, freshly split logs, and oiled chainsaws. Add to that, roof pitch, freshly laid tarmac, and fermenting lemons. The palate was surprisingly saline with salt-baked venison, caviar, salted pistachios, and sheep wool oils. Water brought the warmth of horseradish, English mustard powder, Belgian farmhouse ale, saison, duck eggs, pickled ginger, and sweetened cough medicine. Matured for 12 years in a bourbon hogshead before we transferred it to a second fill red wine barrique. Ooh. This is a Highland. This is from the 9th of March 2006, making it 14 years aged. It is 60.1% ABV, so squeak over the 60. It is one of 264 bottles. The short form notes say it is raunchy, meaty, sooty, and riddled with salty blushes, masculine savoury notes, medicines, and hot chainsaws, previously in a bourbon hogshead. This is Society Cask number 66.176. And I say 66 because it's one of my favourites. I love a good 66. I think I love a good 66 almost as much as a certain person from Kensington Wine Market loves a 93. Wait, not 93. Ooh, no, which one is it he likes? 42. 42. Someone else likes 93s a lot, though. Maybe it's... I can't remember. Anyway, yeah. Some numbers just stick out, and every time you see them, you get a tingle of excitement, and 66 is one for me. I'm a lumberjack, and I'm going to try this whiskey. if I can figure out how, I'm going to make one of those Monty Python giant feet come and squash me at some point on this. Oh, smells like lapsang souchong. Smells like your mother smelled of elderberries. Smells like a very naughty boy. Certainly not a saviour. Oh. All jokes aside, though, that is glorious. Big, spicy, umami notes. It's right there with the horseradish. It's horseradish. Salted pistachios and horseradish, absolutely. Duck eggs, sure. Pickled ginger, why not? Yeah, and it's got that yeasty thing that you get with the Saison as well. I get that. I get where they're coming from. Never actually had frog's legs. It's one of those things I kind of want to try. If anyone knows of a good place in Victoria you can get frog's legs, actually I might want to wait until the restaurants reopen. That seems like the kind of thing that wouldn't work so well as a takeout. Maybe it does. If you guys recommend any takeout joints that have frog's legs in Victoria, please let me know. Smoked blackcurrant. Yes! It's like Heather Leary's smoked blackberry, double smoked blackberry ketchup, which I had just last night on a very, very strange burger. I feel like I had the most, like, trying to be sin-free burger possible. We made smash burgers, but we did it with Beyond Meat ground beef, which was really delicious. Not a vegetarian, but I do just honestly really like the taste of Beyond Meat, and cutting down your meat consumption even just a little bit helps the environment. I had salad instead of fries. It felt really weird. And I had, for the first time in a very long time, I had a Coca-Cola that had neither sugar nor caffeine in it. And it just felt entirely weird. So yeah, I had a North American classic that had been neutered somewhat for dinner last night. Still very delicious, though. But yeah, that's that ketchup that you can get from... I'm blanking on the name of Heather Leary's company that she's doing right now. That if you're interested in getting some double smoked blackberry ketchup, check out the live chat. I'll put a link into it. Farmstead, Homestead. I'm sorry, Heather, but yeah, delicious ketchup. And it tastes like this. It tastes quite. Yeah, that's a wonderfully unique tasting note. So incredibly specific. Yeah. Paint's an interesting one. Again, not something I would usually partake in outside of whiskey, but I think I know where they're coming from. It's got that sort of gouache. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. You know, the thick poster paint stuff. I've not used it in well over a decade. Actually, I found the folder of my old high school art projects recently. Had a good laugh with Kristen as I went through how terrible they were, ripping them all up and putting them in the trash can. Felt slightly better after that, but why have I been hauling around old high school art for 15 years? I don't know. Has it been 15 years? It's been more than 15 years. It's stupid. I don't know why I had it. But yeah. Maybe I should try my hand at art again one day. Very, very good. So, the cap's not on it. There's the cap. This glorious 66.176 is from a little distillery close to my heart called Ardmore. It's another important blending ingredient, especially for teachers, for whom it was created, specifically created for teachers. The peat, which comes across as smoked applewood normally, is made with light and fruity spirit, and it's made that way through long fermentation in traditional wooden washbacks, which is really cool. And yeah, it's a really interesting alternative peat flavour to the more standard Islay peat that a lot of people are much more used to. I really like the smoked applewood with the fruity, light flavours that you get with Ardmore's. Big fan. Great. This is a fantastic Ardmore. If you like me, not if you like me. Hopefully you do like me, but if you are like me and you like Ardmore, you should buy one of these bottles. It is glorious, and it is a fantastic price. This 14-year-old is available for $187.74, which also means that it is a great choice for anyone who is currently not a member watching this video, because any whiskey that is $180 or more is eligible for your try before you buy, I guess we can call it, the new membership method, where if you've not been a member before, you can buy any bottle that's $180 or more, and it will include your first year of membership, so you can see if the SMWS is for you. Spoiler, probably is. If you like whiskey, you'll like the SMWS here in Canada. Yeah, that is a damn good Ardmore. We are going to finish off, though, finally leaving the Highlands. We've been on quite a Highland romp. We've had one Speyside, which of course is technically a Highland. We've had an island, which is technically a Highland. And we started off with an Islay, of course, and that's where we're going to end as well. And we're going to end off with an Islay that claims to be an intense seaside experience. We'll see about that. But here are the official tasting notes. A myriad of aromas, peat smoke drifting towards the harbour, seared scallops and salted prawns, treacle tart, big red gum, antiseptic cream and albus oil. The palate is that classic combo of intense sweet and smoky flavours with salt and pepper savouriness. Followed by licorice and bonfire embers on the finish, the reduced nose gets seaside swimming pools, ship timbers and tarry ropes, but with licorice all sorts and Jamaica cake sweetness, that pulled pork and barbecue sauce, including the barbecue too. The palate becomes sweeter and easier, though still mouth-drawing. Blackberry jam. I wonder if this is going to taste like Heather Leary's double-smoked blackberry jam. Blackberry ketchup, sorry. Cinnamon swirls, hot cross buns, kippers, ash and soot. Well, that just sounds glorious, doesn't it? This is going to be an intense seaside experience, and this intense seaside experience is brought to you by Distillery 53. And this is 53.329. A very, very popular distillery in the SMWS, not just in terms of popularity with members, but in terms of we've had 329 of them. That's quite a few. That's more than any other I can think of. This is probably the distillery that the SMWS has bought the most casks of. I can't think of anyone who's had more than 329. This is OutTurn 1 of 287. And it is aged for 12 years. It was distilled on the 24th of September 2007. It is from Islay. It is a refill ex-bourbon hogshead. And it is 56.5% ABV. The short form tasting notes say the nose is peat smoke, harbours salted prawns, and pseudocreme. The palate is a classic combo of intense sweet, smoky, and salty flavours, and this is from the peated flavour profile. Not lightly peated, not heavily peated, just straight up peated. Let's crack her open. Ooh. Yep, that smells exactly what I would expect from this distillery. From the SMWS, it's, what I'm quite familiar with. We've had a few of these here in Canada, not just the SMWS in general, but here in Canada we get quite a few of these, and I am very happy every single time. It is a stalwart. It is something I look forward to every time I see it coming. And a 12-year-old is a great age for this. The most common official bottling is a 12. Oh, but it ain't got nothing on this. At cask strength, at around the dozen, from a refill a cask of any type really, from a refill hogshead or refill barrel. This distillery just sings. It's in its element, and this is a distillery which I've said many times. I've found personally, and many other whiskey folk have said the same, is just so dependable. It's so dependable. Like, it's always great. Salt and pepper deep fried shrimp. That's what I'm getting on the nose. I'm making myself hungry. which is rough because, of course, with the new provincial health order, the Sticky Wicket is now currently closed. We're not even doing takeout because it wasn't financially viable for us. So I don't have any food options at work anymore. I have to go get takeout or bring food with me, I guess. Actually, special note on that, please do support your local bars and restaurants that are able to do takeout right now, that are, not takeout specialists. I know it's not the same as dining in, but we can't dine in right now, and a lot of people are depending, their livelihood depends on us getting takeout, to be honest, right now. So hopefully some of you are enjoying takeout right now with some whiskey. Let us know in the live chat if you've got a favourite takeout spot in Victoria, BC. And of course, whenever possible, especially not when you're drinking, please don't do this when drinking, but if it's possible, please do drive down or walk down even and pick up your order rather than relying on people like Skip the Dish and Uber Eats. They're not very good for the industry. I try not to make too many enemies in life, but if I make an enemy out of Uber Eats, I'm okay with that. Or Skip the Dishes more so, actually. Uber Eats is fine. It's not fine, it's not great, but it's better than Skip the Dishes. Alright. So. That is good. That is good. What is 53? Well, let me tell you what you probably already know. This is Caol Ila. Caol Ila, where orchard meets the sea, is what I like to say. They have very tall stills and very long fermentation and higher cut points, which create notes of juniper, grass, and pear, which play well with the smoky lobster traps that the coastal peat brings to the party. It's designed specifically for refill casks, as the spirit is really what makes this whiskey stand out. You don't want to hide this spirit behind anything. It's such a beautiful, unique, interesting spirit. It doesn't need very active casks. It doesn't. Even actually, when you age this whiskey for a really long time, something really special happens. You can get incredible 30, 40-year-old Caol Ilas that are just mind-blowingly good. But even then, they've tried to use the oldest, most tired refill casks for them, especially because, long period of time. But yeah, magic happens when this spirit oxidizes at an old age, but it's just incredibly good, really, really at any age. I've had 3-year-old Caol Ilas I've thoroughly enjoyed. 12 is a pretty good sweet spot, though. Oh yeah, that is delightful. Interesting thing about Caol Ila as well, this has been said many times, but they actually have exactly the same spec malt and from exactly the same place as Lagavulin. Both of them get their malt at 45 ppm from Port Ellen Maltings. It is very, very interesting how different the spirits end up being. Caol Ila, again, with the taller stills, gives a lighter spirit. Lagavulin gives it a much more thick, oily, darker spirit. I've always preferred Caol Ila of the two, to be honest. I know Lagavulin has a bit of a cult following, but Caol Ila is where it's at. Caol Ila, for me, is, and I don't mean to speak ill of any other distillery here, but for me, Caol Ila is just as good as Ardbeg. And Ardbeg is one of those whiskies which you pay a premium for. They've got a cult following. Everyone knows Ardbeg. They have they've got the pirate thing out right now. And I love Ardbeg. I don't get me wrong, I like Ardbeg. But I really think that Caol Ila is just as good. Just as good as Ardbeg, but so much cheaper. This is great. This is a 12-year-old cask strength, single cask, beautiful Caol Ila. It can be yours right now for $214.70. I dread to think what an Ardbeg would cost, but yeah. Not that it's not worth it. Ardbeg is good, and let's face it, the price of whiskey is basically based on what people will pay for it. At the end of the day, bottlers included. Ardbeg's expensive when it's through the SMWS because the SMWS has to pay a lot to get it. They get it because their members demand it, basically. But yeah, this is a fantastic whiskey at a fantastic price. Available right now, $214.70. However, there's only 6. That's hopefully not going to be always the case. A case went missing. 6 of these are floating around somewhere in BC. Hopefully the liquor distribution branch will find it. If you are interested in this whiskey and it is already sold out by the time you try and make a purchase, shoot me an email at whiskey@strathliquor.com and I'll take a wait list of when/if the rest arrive. It should arrive. I'm quite confident that they will arrive, but I have no idea when. So yeah, shoot me an email if you find that this one's already sold out and you're still interested in a bottle. Again, it is $214.70, a great price for this single cask Islay. Yeah, what a great way to finish off an OutTurn. Very much looking forward to seeing you guys again in May. In the meantime, we're going to have a couple more Drinking Out Louds. Hoping to get some of the charity tastings that we've got planned. The charity tastings are quite tricky because, as you've noticed, I have co-presenters, and it's always much harder to try and find a time to record that also suits another person. So hopefully we'll have some more of those coming up this month. There's definitely many more to be had. We will have a lot more of those coming up. But we'll also be doing another indie showcase coming up soon as well. I'm going to try and fit that into April. So yeah, keep an eye on our YouTube channel. You can subscribe if you like. Hey, you can even like this video if you like. Help other people find it. Hit subscribe if you want to stay up to date or make sure you're a member of the Drown Association. It has been a wonderful OutTurn yet again. Thank you to the SMWS for providing us with incredible whiskies. Just before we stopped being able to do in-person tastings, I started a trend, a thing that we wanted to do at the end of every tasting for giving a round of applause to the SMWS for their fantastic whiskey. So thank you very much. Yeah, I will see you guys at the next one. Stay tuned for more Drinking Out Loud, and at the very least, hopefully we'll see you for the May OutTurn coming up on the first Friday of May. Stay safe, stay well, stay suitably lubricated, and go for a hike and take some good whiskey with you. Slàinte.
Oh, the summertime is come, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme, all the moorland is perfuming. Will ye go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to the wild mountain thyme, all around the blooming heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? I will build my love a bower by yon clear crystal fountain, and on it I will pile all the wildflowers of the mountain. Will ye go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to the wild mountain thyme, all around the blooming heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? I will range through the woods and the bogland cedrily, and we tongue ere the night to the bower of my dearie. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to the wild mountain thyme, all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? If my true love, she won't come, I will surely find another to the wild mountain thyme, all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to the wild mountain thyme, all around lassie, go, and we'll all go together to a wild mountainside, all around the bloomin' heather. Will you go, lassie, go?